Only recently, the world marked the International Day of the Girl Child. Now, this has evoked stronger advocacy from different quarters on the need for the Cross River State government to come up with policies towards putting an end to the money woman practice by the Becheve tribe in Obanliku local government area of the state. Now, what's the way forward? Join us as we'll bring on Governor Ben Ayade on this. The attention that greeted the story of the money woman culture of the Obanliku people continues as more people seek the abolition of the tradition that devalues the girl child who is used as a means of exchange. The victims of the money woman narrate their ordeals and they seek intervention from all to bring this culture to an end.
The mother was sick and they needed to raise money for her medical bills. So the uncle came and the only instrument for settling the medical bill was for her to be picked. The father carried her on his back when she was 3.5 years and took her to a village where she was sold for 10,000 naira. So she was there for several years before our intervention, where we now pulled her out of the place. But even at this point, if you allow me to say, Mercy is a widow because her husband is dead. But the family are still pressing. So by God's grace, we want to engage the family and make sure that whatever they want, is given to them so that the girl can be free to face her life like she should. We sent back the 10,000 naira which they paid, but they sent the money back to us. I don't know. Well, that was before the husband died.
However, with the recent celebration of the International Day of the Girl Child on the 11th of October, our former governor of Cross River State, Mr. Clement Ebri, bears his mind on the practice which he condemned in totality. He calls on the present state governor, Ben Ayade, to wade in and see to the abolishment of the practice.
It is something that needs to be addressed by government by way of education and engagement with the leaders of the community. How can you get children who should have enjoyed education to sold out slavery? I mean, slavery was abolished how many years back, and here in this country we still have that kind of thing happening. I think it's not right. It should be a priority, and I will raise it wherever I go and ensure that the matter is given adequate attention. And I mean, I just can't think of that happening. I tell you, if I have an opportunity to meet with the governor, I will advise clearly on what we must do to stamp it out immediately. The people of is it Obanliku, where this matter, where this practice is. Is going on, ought to, bury their heads in shame. This kind of situation is not addressed. They have to do something about it. And I'm very happy that Channels is taking the lead in, unraveling this kind of practice. I can now see why Channels continues to remain number one, in terms of rating. Please go ahead and fire on all cylinders. We must put an end to it. If you're able to put an end to it, I'm sure that you would have written your name, in gold, in the annals of Nigeria's history.
In his reaction, Governor Ben Ayade joined millions of people world over to condemn the culture and gave assurances that he will wade in to restore the dignity of womanhood in Becheve.
If the custom of a people dictates that a particular conduct or act is acceptable within the custom and confines of those people, it becomes acceptable and legal. Now, where such attitude or conduct contradicts morality, contradicts common sense, contradicts civilization, or runs in conflict as it is today with even our own legal system, the codification of our laws makes it very clear that people have rights, inalienable rights to their self-freedom, to their self-determination, and so a child has a choice of who he wants to marry. So to the extent that you contradict that by interfering with her rights, you have sinned. you have committed a crime. The Child Rights Act also prohibits it. And Cross River State have domesticated the Child Rights Act. And so it's a complex thing, dealing with the conflict between customs and law. And unfortunately, a custom that has found its nexus into the law of the people. So as government, we cannot wield the big stick and come and now pack people and put to jail and then come very cruel. What the people need is love. They need care. They need enlightenment. They need education. And that's what my wife is pursuing very aggressively. That's why we have focused on it. I have been there. My wife has been there. And you have been there as well. So we're all trying to teach and tell them that is unacceptable. A young woman has opportunity to allow her to live to the fullness of her own prime and take decisions whose consequence or benefits will be hers. So we will sit down and say, look, we know that this is your culture, but government is saying civilization has come, that is no longer acceptable. All the debts you are owing, I have taken them. All the loans you wish, I have given you by way of conditional cash transfer. I'm giving you Operation Comfort. I am giving you all financial assistance. Can you please stop this? The Becheve community is a small community, so I can ring-fence them, deal with them, isolate them, and take out that program. I'm going to agglutinate them with a lot of love and attention, and then they can begin to see the value. But I'm happy that some of their kids now are getting educated, and they're also joining us in the campaign against Money Woman. The practice is barbaric. I condemn it in all totality, but I must follow it with some ecclesiastical caution. I must apostrophize my steps to ensure that I don't interfere with their rights to the culture of their people. Any infringement of the culture of a people is an abuse. It is a denigration of the African culture. So I have to balance it kinetically. So I will be the Ayades Lesser who stopped the selling of daughters in exchange for money or the sale of a girl child in settlement of a debt.
The candlelights are still on, signaling an undying hope in the heart of those concerned about this culture shock. They look forward to a time when this will be in the distant past, when women will no longer be used as a means of settling debts.